All right. Welcome to this very special edition of Real Talk with RN Diva and Pastor Robert and the COG Equity Podcast. I want all of my viewers, all of my listeners, all of my podcast subscribers on the COG Equity Podcast to say hello to my co-host of Real Talk with the RN Diva, Pastor Robert, the RN Diva. Charlotte.
Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
Now we're combining the podcast tonight. So all of you who are listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music Podcast, and wherever you podcast, share this right now. Go ahead and give us some likes and give us some ratings so we can get in the algorithms. And for those of you right now who are watching us live on Facebook, give us some hearts, give us some likes, share this with 2 or 3 people. Those of you on YouTube, go ahead and like this as well, share this with somebody. And for those of you on my favorite platform, X, formerly known as Twitter, owned by the man who just is trying to start the America Party, Elon Musk. him and little Donald are fussing again. So
them girls fussing again.
Yeah, they having a little. The bromance is broken. The
bromance is broken.
The bromance is over. So they're having a little issue there, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So anyway, if those of you on X right now, share this. We got a lot to talk about. So I really need you all to get this to the platform and the algorithm rather. I'm excited, Diva. Are you ready to get going here? Because we got some heavy stuff. We're going to talk about. We're going to merge church and the RN Diva. Let me just say, it's RN Diva is a former you're always a combat veteran. I guess you're a former combat veteran in the United States Army who just celebrated 250 years last month. The Army, yeah.
The military. I'm not Army.
You were Army. I'm sorry.
I am Air Force.
Okay, when is the Air Force anniversary? You don't know. Okay, well, y'all don't hold that against her. Anyway, she's a former combat veteran.
Can't remember.
Air Force, and also she has over 30 years of experience as a registered nurse in the medical field. So she's going to be offering her expertise in her opinion, and she's going to opine some. Because one of the things we've been talking about on the COG Equity Podcast is there's a youth camp, which we're going to show you in a second, that the Church of God is going to be having at their Youth and Retreat Center in Leesburg. They're scheduled to have it on the 14th of July. However, we're going to show you, for those who don't know, they have several fines and violations and warnings concerning their water and sewage department system there. And they've had that letter since May 15th, and they have not gotten that all together. So, of course, how are you going to have children there at the campground, 40 plus acres, there when the water is not safe to drink. So we're going to get her expertise, because when I looked at some of that information from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and then also the Health Department, it was a lot of it was Greek to me. Some of it you can understand, but she can give us a perspective on if you're washing, drinking, cooking with water that is potentially contaminated, the possibilities of what could happen. So we're going to do this as a public service. Yeah, we're doing this as a public service. Now, people, David, you can jump on in here in a second. People are getting mad with me because they get mad at the messenger because due to a Freedom of Information Act with Lake County, I received these documents, and you can too. Florida has sunshine law. All you got to do is request it in the right way. And hey, Bishop Masters, God bless you. All you have to do is request it in the right venue, and they will send you. They have, by law, they have to send you every phone call, every email, every documentation on considering what you asked. So we got that. And to be honest, Diva, we were shocked because some of these violations are code violations, which has to do with the RV park and motel that's on the premises being run illegally without the proper permitting. Uh, yeah, this stuff been going back at least since 2021, and so they're getting, for those code violations, they're getting fined $100 a day since
2021.
Yep.
$100 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where y'all time's going? Go ahead. I don't know nothing about time. Okay, I'll wait.
Thank you. Well, here's the thing. We got it. And so I want you to be sure to put your comments there, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter,
Please do.
YouTube.
Please put your comments.
We already got one here now from the great Reverend Dr. Mayor Bishop Thomas A. Masters. What a great program. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my bishop. Thank you so much. We thank that you're doing that. And so some of you can come on, and I'm going to place this over here. So what we're going to do, let's do this. We're going to do this because I want your comments to be scrolling along as we're talking. So let's, overlay. There we go. Okay, so they'll be there onto my right, maybe to your left. I don't know how it looks there. Your comments will be there, and also if you would like to subscribe or give a love gift to the RN Diva or myself, the information is in the comments there, but also scrolling along the bottom of the screen, and we'll also get that going. One other thing, and we'll get going. We're going to jump right in this. Also, we have a new feature of the podcast. That feature it's called SpeakPipe.com. You say, what in the world is that? If you go to this website, write it down, speakpipe.com / the RCTV network, you can leave your verbal comment. It's almost like leaving a voicemail. Okay. And by doing that, you can do that. And we may play some of those at the end of the podcast. So you can rattle off and go off as much as you want to. Or you can put them there in the comments. Okay. Diva.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Let's just show you something here, because I want you to see something. I want to make sure you see what it is I'm talking about, because can you believe that this campground is being used and there is contaminated, communicable water? You see there on the screen, there's going to be a youth camp on July 14th. Of course, it costs $150 per child, but that's another story. But they're going to be there for a week. Let me show you what's going on here, and then you can see what we got going on. There's for those of you who don't know, that's the bishop, the state bishop, the administrative bishop, Bishop Anthony Pelt, and you see their campground chaos. You got to go back to our last podcast and see that Lake County and all the different entities there. Look at the sign. Do you see the sign?
Yes.
That's the sign. That's currently the sign. I'm gonna zoom that in some.
Welcome. Office hours Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 1, or is that a 4?
It's a 4.
Who in the office and the place is defunct?
Well, we don't know, because it says the state office is there, but nobody can seem to find it. Yeah. All right. But anyway, Dr. Ellis thought that was Welcome Office HRS. but it was actually office hours because your signs are offering and monthly reports being sent in, they don't even have enough money or decency to fix the letters on the sign. So that's actually a 352, the 5 that fell off, But also there's another sign on the property. You see that? Water not safe for drinking. You see that? That's what we're dealing with, y'all, folks. So there's a campground.
Oh, but look at the sign. The sign is minute compared to the big sign. They got to do better. That's y'all
sign,
trying to show people kids.
Yeah, that sign is actually on the side of a building. I'm gonna show you that here. There, it's on the side of a building. Now, if you're on a 40-acre piece of property, if you don't happen to ride by and see that sign, how do you know the water is unsafe for drinking?
And that's not even how you post it.
Right.
It's supposed to be non-potable water. That's just folks just throwing some letters up on the sign, and that's exactly how it looks. And if it's not suitable for drinking, you're not supposed to bathe in it. You're not supposed to use it to clean with. You shouldn't be touching it because you don't know what's growing in it. I'm going to let you go ahead because I'm about to cut up.
Okay, now here's the youth camp. It's going to be on the 14th. Youth camp Mount Up, July 14th to the 18th. The schedule. Look at the schedule. The schedule is Monday field day. You're going to need water for that because the children are going to be out there sweating and running. Tuesday, water day. How you going to have water? And the water's unsafe to drink. Wednesday, the skate day. Because they're going to the skate rink. Thursday, Kingdom Roundup. And the dress code is Western attire. And it's $125 until tomorrow per child. But then it's $150 on site. But that's okay. Because guess what? You get a T-shirt and a $10 canteen card included with your registration. Woo!
And where's the
canteen is going to be where they in the cafeteria, where they cook the food and.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Give me the layout of this place. Give me the layout. So you talk about a canteen and this, that, and the third. What buildings are on this site?
You have the dormitories or the cabins. Okay.
What is that?
That's the swimming pool. No water's in it, but that's the swimming pool. It's a little dingy, but no water's in it. That's swimming pool. No joke. These pictures are recent.
That's a hazard.
Yes.
Because not all children are obedient children. That's a hazard.
And
I'm sure it's not secured. And even if it is, what is that? Barbed wire there's barbed wire on the top of the fence?
Yes.
What are we doing here? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Those children from House of Prayer, they don't they're gonna be running around telling us stuff. This is the other part. You have the swimming pool. You have cabins where like a dormitory where the children stay. This is part or kind of like across the street, but it's still a part of the property. This is the RV park. Now, this is where they're getting $100 a day fines and fees because the RV park. You see, there's a sign that says "lots for rent." That those people are only supposed to be there like for the weekend or a week or something like that. Well, if you can see, some of the people have made gardens, planted, because they've been there for a long time, which means they're renting that out.
Someone's collecting rent for them to be on that property.
Correct. Someone is. And apparently the brethren of the pastors in the church of the state the jurisdictions weren't aware of this. So that's why they're mad at me because we're bringing this out.
What are they mad for? I'm not understanding why they're upset with you.
Because we're exposing it to the world and we're exposing the people. But if I don't tell it, we don't tell it.
Well, I'm so sorry. We're trying to stop you from sending your kids to get up cryptosporidium and botulism.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Wrong is wrong.
So,
they need to do better. That's not acceptable.
That's right.
That's not acceptable. What's that?
That's the gymnasium, which doesn't have
that. Looked like a prison. I'm gonna leave that alone. Go ahead with it.
Named after one of the old Bishop Walter D. Jackson. He's long gone. That was one of his dreams. from when back before you and I were even born.
Mm.
He said that he wanted to have a campground. We need a campground. We need a campground. So yeah, that's that.
Mm.
Yeah, that's that. So now that's the gym. His name is on it, but it's missing some of the letters. It's missing some of the letters, you know. So it's kind of like Walter D. Jacks on gymnasium, but there's no air conditioning in there. So the children,
Oh,
there's no air conditioning. No air conditioning. No air conditioning. So there you go. Kim, shall we continue? Now,
mm. Mm. Mm.
yeah, it's pretty haggard if you ask me. Now let's see. This is like a little bathroom area station, a little bathroom building, whatever. There.
But
That's one of the water stations as far as where they run the sewage and all that kind of stuff. You see, that's not up to par. Let's continue. Now, so here we are, and this is where you're about to kick in. Here's the letter. Here's the letter. Here's the letter. Here's the letter from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Dated May 15, 2025, Anthony Pelt Bishop, Church of God Youth and Retreat Center. And it also has the address and the email. Warning letter. And it basically says, Mr. Pelt, a compliance evaluation inspection was conducted at your facility March 21st, 2025, and under the authority of Chapter 43.091 Florida statutes. During this inspection, possible violations of Chapter 403 Florida statute, so on and so forth, were observed. Now, it's a 2-page letter. During
this
that,
can't be real. This is insane.
I'm gonna zoom in there. I mean, those of you on your iPad or phone, I'm presuming you may have to watch it on your TV projector. But during the inspection department, personnel noted the facility is being operated without a valid wastewater permit. Well, right there, right there, you.
Stop right there.
Go ahead.
That's stop right there. Sirs and ma'ams, if you are sending your children to any place
Mm-hmm.
where there is not a valid wastewater permit,
Mm-hmm.
you are to exit stage left expeditiously, because that's a smorgasbord of germs
Mm-hmm.
just waiting to be released. That is disgusting. Go ahead, because
We shall continue. Let's look at this some more here. We just getting warmed up here. Okay. Now let's look at it here. It says there. The lift station had a broken check valve. This was addressed by an email on April 1st, 2025, stating that the check valve had been repaired.
mm.
It said they would prepared it on April 1st, but actually it wasn't prepared. Okay. Okay, here. Failure to submit several discharge monitoring reports, parts A and B, by the permitted deadline. So each month they have to put a monitoring report by a certain time of the month. But look what they were doing. February's report, February 2025, they didn't submit until the end of March 31st, 2025. January's monitor report was submitted March 3rd. November 2024's monitor report was submitted on January 3rd. They skipped December.
Mm.
October 24th was submitted on November 29th, 2024. So these are the monitor reports that they, on the honor system, if you will, where you have to do your testing and monitoring, put and send that in. They've been sending those in sometime 2 months late. Then these are all the months below where the monitoring reports were marked incorrectly. March, April, May, June, August, July. March, April, May, June, August, December, January 2025, and February 2025. Second page. The facility exceeded chlorine. Here you go, Diva. Chlorine minimum on March 2024 and did not mark the exceedance. So the chlorine minimum, they exceeded the chlorine minimum. So that means you put too much chlorine. Deep put too much chlorine in there. Is that
And we're talking chlorine. We're not talking bleach, people. We're not talking about running up to the Save-A-Lot and getting a couple thousand bottles of bleach. No, this is chlorine. You have to know what you're doing. Just anybody can't run these reports. Anybody can't test this water.
Yeah. The facility incorrectly transcribed the chlorine minimum in March 2024 from Part B to Part A of the report. So again, the chlorine that goes in the water, which keeps the water. What does the chlorine do?
It keeps the balance in the water. It works a couple of things. Bacteria, if it's killing. It keeps it to a minimum. And then once it's clean, then they put more chlorine in, and they start the process all over again.
Okay.
This is dangerous. This is absolutely dangerous. This is dangerous. These folks are playing with the lives of these children.
Yeah. This is very careless. Let me move that up. This is very careless. Very careless. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to give you a comment that I got. The flow meter was last calibrated. Okay, so that meter the flow of the water was last calibrated on January 27th, 2023. What's today's date?
The 19th? No.
Today's the 6th of July.
No, yeah. Lord, I don't push it up a week.
July 6th, 2025. The flow meter with the water was last calibrated on January 27th, 2023.
Which flow meter?
For the water. The flow of the water. It was it's supposed to be calibrated once per year. The last time they did it was January 27th, 2023. So it is past due for the annual calibration. Okay, so what they did, they told them, you see there, that please contact me, and that's the trace stamp. Within 7 days of receipt of this warning letter to arrange a meeting. So basically they can go out there to the campground, show them what they need to do. Because here's the thing about it, again, all jokes aside, on my end, this ain't something Deacon Johnson and Deacon Miller can just go there and, like you say, run to the Home Depot and do this. This is something that has
right.
Certified.
These are people that are trained to do this.
Right. So, no one, according to the Freedom of Information Act, no one has reached out to them and contacted them after receipt of this letter. So, that was May. They're supposed to contact them by May 22nd. Today's July 6th. The camp begins July 14th. They'll have a cleanup day, a work day on this Thursday, July 10th. To, pick up the trash, and so on and so forth.
So they must, once they get hot and all and tired, they must be gonna get them some real cold grape soda, them Czech sodas from Winn-Dixie or something. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna be able to drink no water. Okay, it may very well be that they're bringing in a semi-truck full of bottled water. Maybe that's what they're gonna do.
Bottled water for what?
Everything.
Okay, I'll give you that. But that means that they're going to cook with the bottled water, brush
their teeth,
shower.
Well, you're gonna have to do a TPA. You're gonna stand in front of the sink and hit those parts. I said it. I did. And as soon as I said TPA, you knew what it was. Soon as you get to the sink, hit them TPAs, and everybody's TPAs aren't built the same. Some people got a little bit more body odor than others. So they're going to need a couple bottles of water. You hear me? Huh?
But these are children and teenagers.
What about my young ladies that are on their menses?
How are they going to do all that?
I'm just wondering. I was wondering if somebody was going to let me know, because it absolutely makes no sense. Okay, I can understand if you want to buy a property and you got a little side hustle, and the people in the trailers that done built steps up to their trailer, they've been there long enough. You got a little side hustle, but don't bring children in these children are not.
What are some of the potential ailments, diseases, et cetera, that, because you've worked in trauma care and all that kind of stuff. What are some of the things just from drinking bad water?
I mean, there's bacteria, viruses, there's microorganisms that embed themselves into your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is your filtration system in your body, your lymph nodes. Your lymph nodes are everywhere in your body. Yeah. If it is invaded by bacteria, viruses, and microorganisms, you might as well just throw in the towel, because now you are going to be sick. If you are not able to get rid of it, you are going to be sick from here on out. It's not something that's taken care of instantly with an antibiotic. The symptoms present themselves different in different people. So you're not going to be able to say, okay, now if you get this, you're not going to be able to do that. You have got to stay away from this mess.
So it would be, would it be contagious as far as if a child in a cabin gets sick and he or she starts vomiting or coughing,
Well, 9 times out of 10, they could possibly get C. diff. C. diff is a very contagious microorganism that's found in stool. When you have all this diarrhea, it's nonstop. So regardless of how clean you think you are, you still have remnants of diarrhea when you clean yourself. Excuse me, folks. I'm trying to be as politically correct as I can. But when you're in that environment, you can't clean yourself. So somebody is going to get it on their hands after trying to wipe themselves. If they're vomiting, it could be in the emesis. So this is a bad idea all around. This can't be a grown man or a grown woman sending out stuff to these church members and whomever, wherever these people are coming from, telling people that this is okay. This right here gives me pause.
I lost your volume, Diva. Can't hear you.
I don't know. Okay. Can you hear me?
I don't know what happened there, but we lost your volume.
I don't know.
Did you push something?
No, I haven't touched anything. Can you hear me?
All right, well, let's do this. We're going to come back. We're going to take a quick break here. And when we come back, she's going to continue this. But also what we're going to do, we're going to be talking about, not just what's going wrong, what can go wrong, but as far as, because the other part is there's a motel being run there with 10 rooms. So you have strangers that are paying rent. And someone said that saw the pictures from last week. Actually, one of the ladies who actually took the pictures last week said that the motel looks like a crack house. Those were her exact words, a crack house. Okay? So we're going to come back and go take a look at the crack house and see what's going on. And we're going to talk about it. All right? So we'll be right back right after this message. This break. All right. All right. We're back. We're back. Thank you so much for being so kind. We had some technical difficulties there. Diva just running to get us something to drink. We're back on live here. So here's now. She was telling us about the of being in a place, having the water where the water's not good, and the different communicable diseases and how it can be contagious. We're talking anywhere from 50 to 100 kids, maybe more, that would be there for 4.5 days. Go ahead, Diva.
The issues are so monumental because there's so many with any orifice. I'm using my big words tonight.
All right.
Any orifice that you have, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, okay? I got one more than you do. And then your lower end, okay? Anything where there's an orifice, bacteria or viruses can get in. Microorganisms can get in. You can get something as small as swimmer's ear, which is, at some point you have the water in your ear or whatever. But dirty water in your ear, how far is it from your brain? Do you know how quickly it can embed itself into your brain?
Wow.
And then once that happens, that's something on another level. But see, we're not thinking about that.
Right.
You understand? I'm talking sick. These children will be sick. And it can be something as simple as your skin being irritated by what is in and it's not being tested correctly. The minimum for the chlorine is not being reached correctly.
That's right.
And then one time they decided to go over the minimum. Okay, because it tells you how much it needs to be in there. These folks, these environmentalists have put this down to an art. They know how much and how many, whatever amount of water, they know the pool, how many tons of water, or whatever the measurement is. They know how much the minimum of chlorine. Now, you can't do too much chlorine because then now the chlorine is going to start to give you an issue.
Oh, wow.
It has to be, it has to be to the letter. You can't just have a Billy Joe Bob go by and check it, pick it up. Yep, smells like chlorine. No, bro, that's not gonna get it. You're killing my children. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's an art to this whole thing. And bacterial meningitis in your brain, in a child's brain that is not fully developed.
Oh, wow.
That's a death wish. That's a death wish. So I don't know. I don't know why it's okay. There's no way to fix this. Let me just tell you that. At this point, there's no way to fix it. Because now they're supposed to show up on the 14th?
Yes, that's a week from tomorrow.
There's no way to fix this. And we're just talking about the water. We're not talking about the motel that looks like a crack house. We're gonna get on that in a minute. But we're talking about this pool. They need to go in, test it, do what you need to do, test it again. They need to get it down to the letter.
Right. One of the things that we saw there when we're going through all of that with the health department of Lake County and then also environmental protection is some of the things that, ladies and gentlemen, I sent to Diva this. There were 9 pages of different violations of how to fix it, what it needs to be. That's a lot. Now, one of the things you risk is because Diva, let me go back. We bought this, and I say we because I was a part of the church. We bought this property over 30 years ago, so it should be paid for. But that's another story. So, so this was 30 years old. It was already about 30 years old when we bought it, but for about $1.4 million. The $1.4 million is still not paid. So the money that's been being collected from the
My Lord.
rentals, the money that's being collected from the RV rentals, okay, we don't even know how many RVs are there, how much you're charging for the lot, how many,
Right.
For at least the last 8, the overseer's been in there, the bishop's been in there at least 11 years, so at least possibly 11 years. But where's the money going? Because clearly you're not upkeeping the facilities.
Right.
You see the pool had black mold and all kind of stuff.
Correct. And that's on the surface. So it's already in. And if it's been that long, it's already in the concrete.
So you cannot paint over that. You cannot pressure wash it over and make it look, and then put the water in there and think, okay, because come on, children, they see water, they just gonna jump in.
And they want to be in all day.
Yeah.
They want to be in all day long.
So that's probably why they have the barbed wire up there, because it's probably closed down. Don't want the children, but again, some of my children will go over that.
Listen, if I want to get over that fence, I'm getting over the barbed wire. Don't make me go back porcelana style. If I want to get in, I'm getting in, and there's nothing. See, listen, and this thing can sneak up on you. It can present itself as just like a flu symptom, and you think you have the flu, and you are growing a whole bacterial tree in your stomach. There's people, and it will take you out of here just as quick as it.
Here's the problem here, and we're gonna get into that in a second, because they want to shoot the messenger, and there's a lot of people that's upset with me and Reverend Ellis and those evangelists, Brian Gillenwater, who's been actually picketing and protesting out of the executive office of Cleveland, Tennessee. He's going to be there this week with the pictures of the campground, actually by the headquarters. So as they're driving into the executive office in Cleveland, Tennessee, the headquarters of the International Church, they'll be able to see these pictures of this place. But they're mad at me, and I'm like, well, wait. Aren't you directing your anger at
the wrong person?
Because had we not come across this by just
happened by chance,
which is usually how it happens, you all wouldn't have even known there was an issue. So now that you know it's an issue, now
you're welcome.
No, you ain't gonna.
And hold on. For those of you that are giving my people a hard time, Pastor Robert, my Reverend Ellis, I'm going to need y'all to have several seats. Don't come for them unless we send for you, because he is doing what he should be doing as a proud Black man of God. So in other words, I'll do it for you. Thank you, Pastor Robert. Thank you, Reverend Ellis. That's what you should be saying. Don't come for us. This ain't what you want. This not the smoke you want. This is stuff that should have been taken care of. If you wanted that property, you need to take care of that property long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Reverend Ellis, Dr. Ellis used to say, back before they bought it. Back before we bought it. And he and Pastor Carolyn Ellis and my mother and many of you watching right now, or your parents or your grandparents, gave thousands of dollars towards
my Aunt Doris.
Yes, selling chicken dinners and comforters and fish and all this stuff. But here's the thing about it. One of the things Dr. Ellis said before we bought it, he stood up in the statements and he said, "We don't need to get it because they're not going to pay for it." He said it back in 1992 and 93. He said it. I'm not going to say how he said it, but he said it. Ain't going to pay for it. The ninja's not going to pay for it.
Right. And he did exactly that, and he was right.
We got it. We got to get the campground. Now, I will say this. Another Jamaican pastor, not Bishop Hutchinson, but another one in South Florida, because we got a lot of great Jamaican, a lot of churches and pastors down in South Florida. And it was a Jamaican pastor who said, if you turn it over to the Jamaicans, it'll be paid for and in pristine condition.
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. That would have been the truth.
Because my West Indian brothers and sisters, they would have rally.
Yeah. This is what we need to do. Absolutely.
And curry chicken and curry goat dinners and this and that, and have rallies and stuff.
I'd have been right there.
And they would have paid that thing off. And here's another thing. And Shonda, you can attest to this, because your mother, your Aunt Doris, and the family were long time founding charter members of Portsmouth Church. Portsmouth Church of God was a little church there. They bought the property under Bishop S.T. Grant across the street. Now they only got a little piece.
Mm-hmm.
S.T. Grant, I don't know if you know the story. He was from the Bahamas. He said, I had a vision. And I said, I see a cathedral. That's how I said, I see a cathedral across the street. They said, no. So they only bought the little piece of land that the church had bought on. Anyway, Mr. Precious came, they built the church, but they built that church, moved in August 1994. They paid that church off in about 7 8 years. A local church. Now, praise God, and my mother was the clerk during all that time, and now they've purchased almost all that property down adjacent to it or down the street. So now when they ready to build a family life center or whatever, a school, whatever, they got the property. Here's my point. It can be done if you want to do it.
Right. If you're not doing something nefarious, it can absolutely be done.
That's right. And that's the point here. Is there, well, I'm going to say it like this. You should, if you're not doing anything there's something nefarious is going on, because
absolutely.
When you look at the motel, there's 10 rooms. 4 of those rooms have satellite dishes on them.
And how do you get satellite dishes?
You have to show your rental agreement at least.
And where would you get a rental agreement if it's
not zoned? It's not zoned.
It's not zoned for that.
Right. So they're doing it under the table. Here's the problem. Then the same thing with the RN. If they go there, if the code enforcement, because right now they're well over $400,000 in the code enforcement fines. If code enforcement decided to shut it down or get those people off their property, they're going to sue.
Absolutely.
What's this interference? Because if they find out about the water, they're going to say, you allowed us to stay here knowing that the water wasn't good and didn't tell us? You know it's not zoned to be commercial, and you were renting us and leasing these places. There was somebody, they don't remain nameless, because I want to that knew somebody that stayed there for more than a couple of years recently in the motel. So how much were they paying a month? Where'd the money go? Why did the money go back into? Why would fix the facility?
They can't do that. It's not zoned for that. Right. Those people are going to sue the pants off of whoever they are giving that money to. I am curious to see what paperwork, what lease agreement was. No, that can't be. That can't be. No.
It is.
And ain't church people supposed to be truthful? Tell the truth.
Did you say it again?
Are church people supposed to be truthful?
The Bible says all lives shall have their place in the lake of fire. They're supposed to be.
The lake of fire gonna be full. Listen, I don't go to church. I ride by a church, but I don't go to church. I have a higher power. I know where my blessings come. But don't sit up and play church and be all holy and be one of the biggest crooks. Them people gonna sue. It's about to be some problems.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about it. People don't understand, because that's called tortious interference. You willingly and knowingly rented, at least got me into some agreement, knowing that there were issues. Did not tell me, but you still took my money.
And that's why they're mad, because you're getting ready to mess up their side hustle. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Wow.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't care how you cut it.
Here's something.
And I'm gonna stand behind you every time. I sure am. I'm gonna stand behind you every time. I'll check you, make sure you're on the right, but then I'm gonna stand behind you every time. Now, because just because you wear a nice suit don't mean that you got it going on like that. You still got to lead by example, and I wouldn't go nowhere with this person that's allowing this to happen.
Yeah,
unless we're gonna have plausible deniability.
Yeah. But he doesn't even have that, because they sent the letters. They said they sent the letters to the camp,
to him,
to his email, and to the former state offices, which we're about to talk about in a minute, in Cocoa. So you can't sit up there and say, I didn't know. And here's the point thing about it. Here's a comment here from Dr. Ellis, and then we're going to go to our next segment here. Dr. Ellis says here, because what has happened is, and the church folk now have become like a, what's the word I'm looking for? There we go. The church folk, here it is. The church folk are now secretive. The church folk are secretive now. They like the Masons and the Eastern Stars and all them. Hey, don't say that. Don't say nothing. Well, just because you don't say nothing don't mean it ain't going on.
It's still happening. Hey, Reverend Ellis.
Now,
I got you back. Don't worry. And they can't. What are they going to do to you? All you're doing is speaking the truth. I can see if you weren't backing it up with pertinent information. Proof.
Public documentation. Now, let's go to our next part. This next segment is brought to you by buymeacoffee.com/the Network. The QR code is there on the screen. You can support this. Buy me a cup of coffee. Right now, I'm drinking my coffee here. You can do a one-time donation, a monthly donation, $5. That's all. Buy me a cup of coffee. I love it. And you'll be able to support this podcast. Now, let's see. Let's go to the next segment here. Because what we're going to do, I'm about to blow your mind because we talked about the state office. We talked about the state headquarters. There you see in there, since we're talking about selling and money. You ready, Diva? I'm getting ready to cut a curve on you. Come on. Them country folk from but they're not country, but they backwards. The folk from Baltimore. I'm finna cut a curve on you. Y'all pray for me. I got this thing. Anyway, y'all see it on the screen. It says Florida Cocoa State Office. That is the former state office that was bought in 1978 by Dr. C.C. Pratt. Moved up state headquarters there from Jacksonville to Cocoa Sharps area, Brevard County, Florida. Now, I'm assuming this, but you really can't see it, but you can go back and look. It's on my Facebook page, so you can zoom in. It was sold in 1970. It was bought for like $50,000. Well, that's the state office. You see that picture there, Sean? That's the state office. Yeah, but it's right on US 1. It's not, but they owned it. Okay, they owned it. And just right next door to it now is Social Security Administration Office right next door. The government got it. But look at here. Anthony, that's the bishop. So you may hear me say Anthony, that's the state bishop. Anthony sold this property. You ready? Back in January 31st, 2024, a year and a half ago, for $405,000. I'll let that sit right there. And that he said he moved the state headquarters to the said Campground. The one that said hours Monday through Wednesday 8 or hours Monday through Wednesday 9 to 4.
I'm sorry, what?
He sold the state headquarters.
He sold.
Yes. He sold it to the Gwynn Plaza. He sold it to some Koreans. And I don't know what they're trying to do with it, but they're having problems with, look at this, the zoning. Go figure. Because they don't want it to be a church. It's not going to be a church office, so it's going to be something else. But nonetheless, yeah.
So this office was moved to the defunct campground.
Yeah. Oh, there's more. So now.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Now. But here's the question right there. Where is the money? Because if he sold it since he sold it for $405,000 back only a year and a half ago, that money should have been put towards that campground, especially to the campground.
Absolutely.
I really knew that the state office sold it until I just happened to come across it last year, back in about February or March of 2024. So why would you sell something like that and not even nobody know? Let's go to some comments here. We have another comment.
That's crazy. Yeah. For nothing else, get the violations taken care of.
Right. So here it is. Kenneth Gentles. How's the Cocoa office? He's from up north. How's the Cocoa office getting away with so many things, and ministers whose reports are late and subjected to harsh scrutiny and even adverse punishments? How are they getting away with it? They're getting away with it, thank you, Brother Kenneth, because they're allowed to. Here, let me share something with you. We have two state offices in Florida. Here, Sean, I'm going to blow your mind again. This is the state headquarters. It says Cocoa. Florida Cocoa office. That's not because of the color of our skin, even though we just happen to be black and cocoa. That's just an anomaly.
Boy, go ahead.
No, for real. Because when I'm being serious. When I went to Lee University, which is the Church of God School University in Cleveland, Tennessee, and headquarters I was I'm from the Cocoa office, and they always knew of the other office in Florida Tampa office. which is about 400 some churches, and this predominantly white. The overseers, the bishops are white. Most all the churches are white. They never knew about Florida Cocoa. So when I said the black boy came on campus at a predominantly white school, so I'm from Florida Cocoa, and they said, "Oh, is that because they're all black cocoa?" Black? No, for real. I mean, they weren't. I mean, they didn't know. They never heard of it. So what happens is Tampa office, which has had headquarters here in Tampa, they've had churches, but they're predominantly white. Now they are in debt. They are in debt. They're in debt, but everybody knows they're in debt because they give a financial report. They know why they're in debt. They know what they're doing to get out of the debt. This cocoa jurisdiction under Anthony Pell, they don't give a financial report.
What do you mean they don't give it? Like, is anybody asking for it?
It was reported to me that one preacher asked for one a couple of years ago, and he got it was reported to me. I heard he got suspended for 6 months from his church.
For what? For asking for financial report? That's a red flag.
He didn't ask what happened. He was telling some other preachers, don't give your money, don't send your, because each church has to send in money each month, to the state. And
he wasn't wrong.
Money until we start getting some type of report. So he got suspended.
I need to know where my money is going.
You don't get that right.
I need to know where my money is going. And you're going to suspend me? And then I'm going to be quiet about it? Oh, no, ma'am, no, sir. No ham, no spam. That will be the first thing. Listen, sirs and ma'ams, you are struggling to pay what you pay to the church, and the church is sending your money off to the state office. I'm going to need you to ask for, can I get a receipt? Can I get a receipt? You see how they're not taking care of this campground. So apparently that money is probably all gone, and they can't account for that money. But everybody that's in the know, they done got a piece of that. This is just my opinion, but I guarantee you, if I send you a coin and I expect you to pay something with it, I'm gonna need a receipt.
That's right. Let me tell you something. 6 weeks suspension, not 6 weeks. It wasn't 6 months. It was 6 weeks, but still,
that's
he got
crazy.
6 weeks. And here's the thing, and the reason why the officers were white and black Tampa Cocoa was because the Cocoa office used to be back in the day with segregation, before segregation. They used to have the colored work. They called it Church of God colored work because the blacks had their own international meet. They couldn't go in. But then my Uncle Harry, Bishop H.G. Porter, Zenobia's father, he made a deal, and they integrated the church back in 66 or 67. So that's when the blacks were able to start going to Lee College then. And they start having that General Assembly together. So the national office was in Jacksonville, and they moved to Cocoa. That's how that started. And so the blacks didn't want to give up having their own thing because they think they would get swallowed away with the whites. But at this point, they need to get swallowed up, as TD Jakes.
Oh, don't do that. I can't.
Swallowed up.
That's
so. But then
who doesn't ask questions?
Yeah, just for asking questions. So anyway, the state office, the state headquarters. So now think about it. You sold it for $405,000. You moved it to the campground, and since you sold it, the campground has already got well over $400,000 in fines and falling apart in bad water.
And you charging people $150 to come and stay at the defunct campground with people living there, and you don't know if there's any pedophiles that's not being reported in those trailers.
Yeah,
but you gonna send your child?
We don't know about the trailers, but there are 18 pedophiles within a mile. There's two that are there's two that are 0.2 of a mile from the campground, which again 40 acres, so it could be essentially across the street. There are about 5 or 6 that are half a mile away, and there's several. I did a 1 mile search just on that address last week. So yeah, there are pedophiles lurking, which probably mean if people are staying in the motel in the RVs illegally,
they're in and out. They're probably coming over to see listen, man.
Now here's another thing. I'm gonna go from this. Since that state headquarters was sold, Bishop Anthony Pelt, now he has a church in Deerfield, Boca. They've been meeting in the school for like 20 years, school cafeteria. Guess what? He's building them a church now. Isn't that a kawinky dinky? Him and his wife pastor a church in Deerfield, Boca Raton. And they're building a church now. Now, I cannot say, because I have no proof at all that the money that from this sale is going towards that. I'm saying I don't know that. I can't say that. But it's just one of those things that make you go, But let's continue on. Let's go. There's another sale.
Are we just selling everything, ain't it?
This is the state park. Now, this was sold a few months before he came in, but the bishop that came in put this money aside specifically, and this was now understood. The bishop who sold this got permission from the men in the state to sell the parcels. I've stayed in the house many times. Oh, memories. Anyway, okay, had a moment there. That's the part. That's the state parcels right there in Port St. John. Nice house, very nice house. But he got permission from the men in the state to sell it, and they were supposed to buy something else. But nonetheless, they sold this in 2014 for $215,000.
Wow.
It's been sold again. They sold it again for $407,000. That was sold in 2019. So whoever bought it from the state now sold it for $400 and some odd $1,000. Okay, so they doubled the money almost. So now, this money was put aside specifically to go towards the campground in 2014.
Oh,
where's the money?
Because it surely didn't go to the campground.
Surely did not go to the campground. Truly did not go to the campground. So now let's do our math. Shall we? We got $215,000 plus $405,000. What's that? That is $820,000. $820,000, right? Okay. Somebody say, wait, there's more.
Oh, no, Jesus. Oh, gosh.
This is a little house church. It was a house converted into a church down in Miami, Coconut Grove. Very nice area.
I love Coconut Grove.
Yeah, the Coconut Grove Jazz Festival. Do they still have the Jazz Festival there?
I don't know.
That used to be the bomb there. Yeah, no, it's Port St. John. Trust me, because when you look at that address. But anyway, now let's look at this. This was just sold
this year,
January 27th, 2025, for $425,000.
Now, all this money is going into
the state office,
Cocoa Branch.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're up to 820. Now we just added another 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 45. 1 point.
Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. So we got 215. Plus 405. Plus 425 equals $1.045 million.
Where is it? And nobody's gonna ask questions. Y'all mad because y'all scared you're gonna get suspended? Is that how we do things? Has given Anthony the liberty to do as he please. Well, are they afraid of him, Reverend Ellis? I mean, because if you have to be afraid of this person, why would you worship anything that he's in charge of? Well, I wouldn't be connected to it selling a Girl Scout cookie. I would not ever be under. To me, I'm thinking of somebody's a crook. And I'm gonna tell you something else. He's not doing it by himself. He got some cronies.
Well, when you look at the paper, and I neglected to pull it up. Actually, I think I have it on here.
This is why I don't go to church right here. Talking about paying tithes. I'm not paying no tithes.
I pulled up the deed from this sale. I pulled up the deed from the state office sale. And the deed has Arnold Williams, Clinton Ruddock, and Timothy McGahee as the 3 trustees that authorized the sale.
Timothy McGahee? Our Timothy McGahee?
Yeah, that Timothy McGee from Porcelana. Yeah. Yeah.
I love Timothy McGahee.
Yeah. But when I called him about the state parsonage sale, when Dr. Ellis, I called him, he didn't. He's supposed to call him like he didn't, but nevertheless, he did text me back. He said, I said, hey man, what about this? He said, listen, I'm with the bishop. I'm loyal to the bishop. Well, yeah, but you're supposed to be loyal to the people that you are serving as a state trustee and to the Lord, not to a man.
Oh, that's not good.
That's what he said.
Well, maybe I'm not liking him so much.
So whatever they tell him to sell or do, he's signing off on it.
That's crazy.
Because all he'd say, well, I didn't sell it. They sell it. The three trustees.
These folks ought to be ashamed of themselves. They really should. They really should. I am not impressed. No. I'm not impressed.
Yes, and some are. We got another comment here. Yes, and some are crooked. Let's see here. Yes, and some are crooked. Some are crooked. Some are crooked. Ladies and gentlemen, there has to be something nefarious going on because
of course
you have over $1 million in actual cold hard cash that could now have paid off the campground that's bought for $1.4 million 32 years ago. Definitely it could have gone, because understand something, dear hearts, understand something. There's a lien, okay? The guy told me with the code enforcement, there's a lien on their property for those fines. So which means if they go to sell it tomorrow, those liens, they're going to get that $300, $400.
Oh, period. Period.
Take a loss. Understand something. If you have to purchase, in order to do all the things to bring it up to code, it's going to cost you probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who's going to give you a loan?
Say that again?
Who's going to give them a loan? What bank?
Nobody's going to trust that. Nobody's going to trust that.
So
I wouldn't take a chance on that.
So you're already now, you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt with fines. You've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in the upkeep, the water. Because understand that campground was built, I believe, in the 50s or 60s. So probably all the pipes and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's not the PVC.
It's not up to code.
Yeah.
They're not up to code.
It's not the PVC pipes and all that kind of stuff. So you're gonna have to run all new. I mean, you got
to dig all that up. Yep.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. So here it is. That's three pieces. And here's the thing about it. Why? Now, let me give you the other piece of this. They say he sold this in January. This Coca-Cola Church of God. Even though it was reported to me that he was told not to, but he sold this church. And he didn't start another one. He sent the pastor to another church to be like an assistant or co-pastor or whatever the case. So he sold the church to shut it down.
The church with its little house?
Little house church. It was house converted into.
So that guy didn't go and get another church. He went to be an assistant somewhere?
Yes, he's at Liberty City Church of God. That's one of those other churches in Miami. So where's the money?
What would be the purpose of shutting down a church like that? Because you don't have the members or something?
Well, I mean, wasn't nobody in there, but still they owned it. Whatever was in there, I mean, you still own it. Send somebody else in there to be the pastor, but you still own it because guess what? Since that was sold for $425,000, guess what the market value is right now to this day?
Oh, in that area,
$600,000. It's only like 600 some square feet. It's very small.
Wow.
So just in 6 months.
They're gonna knock it down.
Well, yes, I mean, there's some developer on it. I mean, but you could have kept that. That would have been property in a prime area. So that's what's going on.
You ever heard a hit dog a holler?
Mm-hmm.
These people that are having the pushback and are having things to say and that are coming for you and Reverend Ellis, and probably try to think about coming for me, and that would be so ill-advised.
That would be good.
It's because you're putting the blatant truth in front of their face, and a lot of people don't want to see the truth. They just want to believe what they want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Sad part about that is, at some point, it's gonna come to roost. It's coming back. Whatever it is, it's coming out.
Yep.
So you must be big money. You just throwing your money around and you don't care where it goes. if I give you a penny, I need to know what you spent that penny on.
That's right. That's right.
And financial reports in every entity that's a business, you have to have a financial report. I don't know how often, but it's required.
That's right. That's right.
And I noticed in this whole thing with the pool and the campground and all this stuff, all these violations, they would go and fix it, and it would be like 2 months later they'll send in, like, you're trying, and then December they didn't even send anything.
Right.
They should be shut down. Absolutely shut down.
Well,
shut down before the 14th, before those babies get over there. That's for sure.
Well, listen, code enforcement, they're not shutting them down because they're just getting that money, $100.
Somebody greasing a palm somewhere?
No. They just,
okay. Talk to me.
I mean, they could, but I'm just saying. But theirs is not, because theirs is just zoning and all like that. The health department can go in there and shut them down. They don't have to have no fines. But here's the thing with the environmental protection, some of those fines, if they start fining them, and we're going to try to find that if they have, those fines can be anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a day from the environmental protection and the health department.
I know.
So now they can go in and shut them down because, restaurants, they shut down restaurants.
Absolutely. That's who will shut them down. That is who will shut them down. And then it's going to be a hot, funky mess because those people in those trailers, they got their own little community out there.
Yep. Jim Bob and all of them out there with, he don't tell you how many teeth he has. He haven't tell you he doesn't have. Hello. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's really sad because when you sit up there and say all the money, just over $1 million in those property sales, not considering all the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've been raising to pay for it. My mama used to be on the Campground fundraising committee.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Now, she was good to be on there because she was the clerk when they built and paid for Porch Learner. But then, when not too long after he got on became the overseer, he removed her from the committee because she was asking too many questions, I believe. Because there's certain things you're just going to know. If you've done it before, you know. But see, here's the problem, Charlotte. And I'm going to let you go on your rant about church because I know about the spirit and the flesh. I know that there's people right now, they're going to send their kids to that camp on the 14th, if they still end up having it, just to spite me. I'm going to show that we're going to support them. Okay. I'm not, listen, I don't get that when you go or you don't. I'm trying to help you. But if something, God forbid it, you see those girls out there, and we're going to do a little something with the camp, missing the girls out there at the camp in Texas. You see what happened to those girls? Something happened, God forbid. It only takes a second. Out there in Camp Mystic in Texas, the water rose to 20-some feet in less than
in 45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah.
In 45 minutes.
Buildings.
And they still looking for those little girls.
I think right now they're up to 659 or 60, something like that. Now, so it can happen quick. So you mean to tell me you're going to send your child there knowing that the water and the sewage is not good, but you're going to do it just to spite me. And I know I'm the preacher, but I'm telling you, and you're going to sit there and we're going to just pray and believe God that the children are going to be covered by the blood. And ain't nothing going to happen. Nothing going to harm them.
Let me tell you something. God is good.
Yes, he is. Yes, all the time.
Okay. So we're going to just pray it away. You're going to pray away that viral meningitis. You're going to pray away that inflammation that goes to the membranes of your brain. Is that what you're going to pray away? Because it's in there now, and that child is instantly sick. Flu-like symptoms, upset stomach, stiff neck, all this stuff. Because it is a smorgasbord of bacteria and viral microorganisms. Mm-hmm. And they multiply very quickly, especially when they get in a nice warm environment, the human body. You are going to pray away because you would rather turn away and not see it, cover your eyes, because then you would be going against the pastor or the preacher or whoever what y'all calling. somebody better stand up and ask a question and raise your hand. You're going to be killing your kids. You are paying to kill your kids just because you want to send them away for the summer.
And just you want to prove a point that we're going to...
And prove a point to who? Because at this point, Pastor Robert is not in the business of caring about what that... He is worried about those children and it being a facility that is defunct. It's not up and running. It shouldn't have anybody habitating in it at all. The motel, the RV campers out there, it should not be inhabited. But somebody's getting money out of it. Somebody is charging for those people to be there. It's not a ghost ain't collecting a lot rent.
Right.
See, when you expose people, they get upset with you. Well, I don't care. You can be upset with me because it's so easy to do the right thing, but it is just much easier to do the wrong thing, I'm guessing. You're telling the truth. You're a troublemaker. You're stirring the pot. But where's the lie? Where's the lie? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm waiting to see if they don't shut this down, if code enforcement don't shut this down, this gonna be a whole mess.
And then will it be
it's going to be enteroviruses for everybody. It's plentiful. Everybody could get sick together.
Yeah, then you would. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because and we do that. Let me say this: we do that so often because we'll sit up there and y'all know I love to eat. Y'all know I love to eat. But we'll sit up there and we'll eat hog maws and chicken fat and pork chops and pork this and that and the other. And then you get gout, and then you get gout, and you get this and the other. And then you want to come to the church and ask the Lord to heal you. Well, yeah, the Lord can heal you. And the Lord, yeah, he can heal you. And he might just do it. But you were not a good steward. You knew the doctor said stop eating that. You knew it was making you sick. You knew you could die from it, but you
absolutely.
And now you're gonna eat it anyway. Now you want us to come, the preacher to come, lay hands on you, pour oil on you, and all this kind of stuff. To come into the hospital, and lay hands on you, all this kind of stuff, praying death off of you. When you put your own self, you have to take some responsibility yourself. And I'm saying all that to say, yes, we can pray for the Lord to protect the children, but if you're knowingly sending them in potentially harm,
Correct. Absolutely.
And I'll tell you this, God forbid if something happened and the people going to sue, I'm going to testify because it's on public record, because it's right here on YouTube, X, iHeartRadio app. It's right here. It's in the public domain. Yeah, I knew it. I tried to tell them. Yep, so live. So, yep.
Wrong is wrong. Like,
yep.
Just turn a blind eye, and then you're gonna get yourself in a hot mess. Turn a blind eye. It's blatant. It's not one thing. It's several things.
Yep.
But first and foremost, the right thing needs to be done. So why in the entire, are you allowing people to stay in the hotels on that property? And you own it now, Church of God people. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Church of God people own that, so that's on you. So anything happens to those people, that's on you. You know why? Because your leaders are making bad decisions. I can't handle that.
We're just not being held accountable.
You understand? How many times have I told you this is why I don't go to church? Because I know the man and I know the flesh, and I've had too many pastors push up on me.
It's all about the money, somebody said.
Laying hands. You lay hands on me and I'm gonna check you. So I don't trust that whole following blindly. Ask questions and find out what's happening with you. Why are you not getting a financial report?
Right. Okay.
Now how come can you change the man that was suspended? Can he change and go to another I don't know what it's called.
Another church,
but not in Church of God.
No, because he doesn't own that church, so he's under. So I mean, the way it works, if you're under appointment, it's as a church that's been like in.
I wish Reverend Grant was here.
Like Church of God, like Poor Son Church of God.
Yeah,
he was there. He Anthony sent Bishop Pastor Yuma Miller there. Let me give respect to Yuma. He sent him there. They took a vote and sent him there. Because Yuma and the church is not self-owned,
right?
He could wake up tomorrow morning and say, you know what, Pastor Yuma,
I don't want you hitting him. Wow, no job security.
Right. So he has that control. Or you upset me, I can send you on the other side.
Right.
With
I get it.
As opposed to having a lot of members. So you kind of have that intimidation. The leadership of, let me put some of these comments here. Okay, let's see. This is another from Bishop Ellis. He said, Anthony Pelt invited a false prophet. That's the prophet Tal Hart. Y'all got to see my video with him in the YouTube psychic. Uber psychic. Anthony Pelt invited a false prophet, and many of the members were upset when we got the false prophet canceled. Tony Stewart, that's from General Headquarters, white guy, then gave Anthony Pelt the next night an Excellence and Leadership Award. It even gave him a check. And Anthony Pelt faked a quickening, like he got happy when he got the money. And here's another comment here. It said, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. Yeah, it's all about the money. Okay, we have another comment here. It says, so there's mobile homes on the campground now. They're RVs, but let me just show you that mobile homes. But they're mobile homes because
they're mobile homes, and they've been there for a while. They have satellite dishes hooked up to it. They even build staircases up to their door, so they have habitated. This is theirs.
Yeah, see, and some of those people are like there. They got, like I say, staircase built up to the. Some of the people are planting a garden around the home there. Yeah, so people are living there, have been living there for a good little minute. So let's go.
And it says they're living there. The sign is there. Where's that sign in relation to the camp thing? It's to the trailer RVs.
It's on the property because there's a road that goes between it. So the RV is like across the street, but it's on both sides. There's the little signs. Just because the road that 473 goes down between it. So the RV park is like across the street. But again, watch this. The RV park, the address. Here's where I'm getting to. The address. Let me go back. Is where the office is. The actual physical address, mailing address, is on the main campground site. Okay. 33926 County Road 473 Leesburg. Remember, I put in for the sexual offenders. There's sexual offenders within 0.2 of a mile of that point in that address. So there could be literally because 48.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Go ahead, folks. Go ahead, folks. Send the kids on.
That's not included in the physical address. So it's 2/10 from wherever 33926 is on that campground. But the campground is 40 acres. 2/10 of a mile. There's a couple of them. There's a few half a mile. So that half a mile could still be in that 40 acres somewhere.
Absolutely. And nobody's checking anything. And that's the best thing for them to do is go hide in a cubby hole. So basically, to get their mail or something, they'll probably have to go and get like a post office box or something.
Or a UPS.
Shut your mouth.
Right.
What?
Because with what they do is they have to register wherever they go stay, and they can't they can't stay within a certain amount of a school
or a church
or a park.
This is a campground. They can't be near this campground.
Right. They said leadership in the Florida Cocoa jurisdiction are corrupt, and not only Anthony Pelt. That's correct because there are 12 men on the council. 12 men on the council, and guess what? They're supposed to be all the property is supposed to be held in their care. They're supposed to be responsible, and the money they should be holding him accountable. That's who he answers to, and they're not. They just sitting up there looking. You got a couple of them on there. He'll say something, but he showed one of them. You say something. I'm gonna suspend you. So here it is, and
that's terrible.
Here it is. Jeffrey K. Brown. He said his uncle, Bishop Walter Jackson, the one
that wanted the campground years and years ago.
He said that was not the vision that my Uncle Bishop Jackson had for that property. No, it was not.
That's so sad. That is sad.
Jackson, I'm told, was a man of means. And so he put a lot of money. So see, understand, they didn't just go and buy the place. There had been money back when he was in the 70s raising money.
Yes.
He was raising money for it. So now we got it and then couldn't pay for it. We got it and they're not taking care of it. And now we flipped it because now we owe probably almost as money as we paid for it. and fines and fees, and that's not including to bring it up to par. So that's where we are. It's really sad because let me go to those men on that council.
That is. Thank you for your comment, Jeffrey. We are paying attention, eyes wide open.
It's somebody
somebody got to be accountable.
And let me do a plug here for Jeffrey, but before you go on, Jeffrey K. Brown has an awesome podcast. Go to his Facebook page, and he does a podcast every week. He's down in the Miami area, Miami-Dade Broward area. Check him out. Great podcast.
What's the name of the podcast? Do you know?
Jeffrey put the
name of your podcast on there so we can put this out to folks. I'm going to be checking that out too. And while we have a small little break, I have another podcast where I'm alone by myself, where I can cut up and misbehave with nobody watching me. So, and the name of that podcast is called Controlled Chaos.
All right, Controlled Chaos.
And it's going to be about true crime. It's going to be about it's anything that pops into my little pea brain, I'm going to talk about. So once I get that up and running, I'll be plugging that as much as I can because I need y'all to come over and herd me. You hear me? Yeah, so I'm going to be on Spotify. I used to be on Spotify already, but we're changing the name to Controlled Chaos, and that is what is that? An oxymoron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Controlled chaos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See? Yeah. I'm teaching you something today. Did Jeffrey put it in there?
Yeah, I pulled it up. His podcast is called the South Florida Live Podcast.
Nice. Okay.
Live Podcast. And you can go check him out on his page, Jeffrey K. Brown. And I'm sure he's on the podcast platforms. And if he's not, we'll help him get on there. That's my boy right there.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
What is it with? Are people just afraid to speak up? Are they afraid that something's going to happen to them? What could church members? Thank you, Jeffrey.
The South Florida Live Show.
Yeah, the South Florida Live Show. Okay, what could the overseer? So he's the overseer.
He's the bishop of the state.
That overseer. Who used to be our overseer back in the day?
Bishop Quan Miller was Bishop Warder Avant.
Bishop. I think it was probably Quan Miller.
Yes.
That was
he was 12 years. 12 years. He was the one that bought the campground. We bought it under his administration. And
I don't know.
But we bought it. He was the one that made it happen, and he was in there for 12 years. We don't leave that. And the podcast, Jeffrey's podcast, is every Wednesday and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, the South Florida Live Podcast. Go check that out.
What time, Jeffrey?
Time. Here's the thing. While he's giving that for us, Bishop Quan Miller, he was the one who brought that.
There was another name. I can't remember. Yes, folks, I used to go to church. I was in the Monday prayer meeting. And what was Wednesday night?
Family training hour.
And 3 times on Sunday.
Well, 2 times on Sunday. Sunday school, morning
Sunday school, church, and then night church.
Night church, yeah.
3 times. Doris made me go. And I said, Lord,
it's at 7 p.m.
Let me see my adult years, 7 p.m. My adult years, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to worship my higher power, but I'm not going to sit up under these folks that's being untrue. They're not telling the truth. People should be outraged. All this money, people should be outraged. If I was in your little circle, I would be. Now you're with a different. Is it a different denomination or?
Yeah.
What is it called?
I'm with the Baptist now, but here's the thing about it. Let me go back to your question you asked. You said, are people scared? Scared, yes. Retarded, possibly.
Now wait a minute. Are we okay to use retarded?
Yeah, we can. We can now.
You sure?
Yeah, we can. Because I meant to use that word.
You meant to use that word?
I could say putrescent or juvenile.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, but we'll say retarded. slow, stupid. I didn't want to use stupid, but why?
Don't use stupid.
But what?
They're not stupid.
Yeah,
they're
but
not
more
stupid.
so, it's somebody might say bewitched or tricked because you're under
tricked,
because you
bamboozled.
You're bamboozled because how could you know this stuff
and still do nothing
and just sit there and say, well, how could how could you know? Oops, I lost my thing. How could you know? How could you know this stuff and just
do nothing
about it? And then get mad when somebody does try to do something about it. But that's because they're controlled. Because why? A lot of the pastors, they want to be on the state council. They want to get a position. They want to be a franchise guy. And they want to be something in the church. So let me play along.
Church is a franchise?
Well, I say franchise guy, but
okay, because that's what it do seem like a franchise.
Well, when I say franchise guy, you want to be like Mr. Church of God. You're going to do everything because you want to be as big as you allowed to be or you can be. So you'll sell your mama almost. But here's the thing about it, and it's sad because Shonda, the RN Diva, was raised in the church. We're about to go. Was raised in the church. And Lord, her mama and her sister.
And the other sister.
Could sing like the angels from heaven. They up there in heaven singing now, but Lord have mercy. So she has the foundation. But here's the thing about if you know any blatches in the church, that's her family right there. That's them. Okay, so she's not somebody, some Johnny come lately. But here's the thing about it. But we have a situation where. So here's the thing. People get mad because you letting all this out to the world. Well, the world gonna find it if somebody go to jail and they get sued.
Because eventually it's happening. Because them good white folk gonna listen to me. Them good white folks gonna look and get the code enforcement. Oh no, this has to go.
Any lawyer worth their salt will take it pro bono because they see is dollar signs.
Yep, absolutely. So and they could have prevented this. All they had to do was do the right thing. You're selling properties. You got money. Listen, that ain't none of my business.
Yeah. So anyway, so thank you all. So you put yourself in harm's way. You're doing all this stuff. Something got to be done. Now, shots been fired. Information been put out.
Shots fired.
What you gonna do?
You still going?
You still going? You still gonna sit there? You're not gonna hold this man responsible, accountable? If you don't hold him accountable,
then you're just as guilty.
You're just as guilty. And don't come crying and praying and get mad and what. I would not say it if I did not source the documents.
That's right.
To be honest, a week and a half ago, we didn't even know that this was going on. It was literally just like, wait a second, what? Huh? Whoa, wait. And all I did was call to verify what I had thought I saw.
Correct.
And I ended up getting more information. So I know it was the Lord working things so the information can get out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2021. 2021. The current guy who's over the youth camp, Demetrius Presley, I'm calling the name because they got his picture on it. He called the people. Oh, we're gonna get the paperwork done. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. I want you to see it. It says Demetrius Presley. He called himself the Special Projects Coordinator, which I didn't know there was one. He says this is the Special Projects Coordinator for the Church of God, and it has. Let me zoom it out. Okay.
Yeah, take it out one. Yeah.
Yeah. Went straight. They called him back. Went to his voicemail. Left the voicemail advising code enforcement orders is void as site plan was never submitted. Advised legal was looking into what happens now, and we would be in touch. That was on January 13th, 2022. So the guy who now is actually running the youth camp called because you see when you go back in the whole thing, you see back in November and December they kept calling. Oh yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna turn it in. We're gonna turn it in, and never did. So now, 3 years later, he's actually the one running the youth camp. So he had to know.
So basically, code enforcement going to be like, listen, what you had said was you were going to do it and didn't do it. So here's the fines and shut it down.
Yeah. That's literally what happened. He, ironically, because at this time, 2022. Who was the youth? I think Gowdy was the youth director. No. Wait. No, Gowdy, the pastor in Deerfield Cathedral, was the youth director. Yuma had not become the youth director yet. So And so Pastor Yuma Miller's name, he was the youth director from 22 to 24, but so far his name has not shown up on anything. So good for you, Yuma. Good for you. Good for you.
I don't care nothing about all that. My concern is for those kids, those children, and the fact that they could get deathly ill or be assaulted by a pedophile. So you never know. They run in circles.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time here today. Those of you listening to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you podcast, thank you. Share this with somebody, especially if you know somebody who's in this situation or tied to this church or whatever the case, because they need to. Something needs to be done.
Stop acting like you don't know. You know.
Yes, you know now. You can't say you don't know. Share this with somebody, and we're going to be over the next couple of few days. We're going to be putting excerpts of this and edit it down so it'll be subject related. But share this with somebody right now on X, YouTube. It'll also be on Rumble later this week, and also other platforms. So you'll be able to find it. It will not be hidden. It's going to stay up on Facebook, and then we'll put the video. Share this with somebody. Let somebody know what's going on, and say, you know what, we got to stand up and get done. But they say boots on the ground, stand 10
boots on the ground, and listen. You're welcome, because it needed to be said. It needed to be put out there, and now it's what you do. Now you need to make changes. Boots on the ground. Get out there. If nothing else, protect your children. If you don't care where your money's going, at least protect your children. Don't let your children go to this campground, because that is an accident waiting to happen. You're welcome.
That's right.
Absolutely welcome.
Now, if you want to leave your vocal comment, you can go to speakpipe.com /the RCTV Network. Leave your comments, and what we'll do, we will play those comments and we'll edit it in some of your comments. I'd like to hear what you have to say. You can leave up to 5 minutes. We're not going to play all 5 minutes of it, but we'll play your comments there on a subsequent podcast, or maybe we'll edit it in, drop it into post-production. Also, if you want to be a blessing, and it's inexpensive kind of way, go to buymeacoffee.com /the RCTV Network. And then back to, as you see down there at the bottom of the screen, for those of you who are listening on the podcast platform, if you'd like to be a blessing to the RN Diva, she has given us a wealth of information. Thank you so much. Thank you. Her cash app is $RN Diva 01, RN Diva 01. That's her cash app. And on Venmo is Shonda, CHANDA _Blatch, BLATCH. Okay, that's on Venmo, and then also you all know mine is cash at $Rob Carpenter 2, PayPal at Rob Carpenter 2, Venmo at Rob Carpenter 2, and Coinbase with your cryptocurrency at Rob Carpenter II. Be a blessing. However you find the way that you want to do that, please. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot to do to put all this information together, because we want to make sure that we're putting out the right information. Now, soon, when we will started back on our weekly Real Talk with the RN Diva and Pastor Robert, where we deal with cultural issues, health issues, and what's going on in the world. The church stuff we usually keep over here on the COG Equity Podcast, but we want to combine the two today. So, our Real Talk with the RN Diva and Pastor Robert podcast is available wherever you podcast. We're starting right back sometime this week. So, you definitely, if you want to laugh but learn, I call it entertainment and enlightenment all in one.
That's right.
And those are
that's right.
It's a trip. It is a trip, y'all. But my cousin, as y'all see, when she get going, it's over.
I've been good tonight, huh?
Yeah, you didn't even say no 4 5-letter words tonight.
Listen, but I got them in the chamber.
We thank God for you for that. And listen, so you want to be a blessing, there's information down there in the description where if you want to be a blessing, we have My Patriot Supply, Virtual Shield is one of our sponsors, Buy Me a Coffee, also some others there. So, there's several ways you can support, or you can send something. Please be a blessing. Be a blessing. Don't be mad. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. You're welcome. We have shown you. We've done better than fake news CNN. We've done better than George.
It was our pleasure. You're welcome.
That's right. You should be sitting
now. That's
send us a
right.
thank you offering. That's what I'm gonna say. We're gonna call it a thank you offering. Praise
That's
His
right.
holy name. That's
That's
right.
right.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, Sean, and then we're gonna go. We're gonna do a tribute to the girls out there at Camp Mystic.
Yes.
Well, the overseer, the bishop, he just had the state convention, and there was a letter sent out where he was asking for each church to give him a love offering of $2,000 each church. I don't have no problem. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem.
Wait a minute. Wait. I know about the building fund offering. I know about the regular offering. What's the love offering?
That's just for him. We appreciate him. Somebody said, thank you for the great information. Please share this with us. Stop hating sins. That's right. Listen, just a love offering. Now, mind you, he gets a salary from his church that he pastors. He and his wife pastor. He also gets a salary as being the state bishop and all his expenses paid, which he should. I have no problem with that. But then we still, when he goes out to preach, he get an offering. We take him a little offering. But this is for his annual state convention. We took him an offer. He asked for, last year was $1,500. A year before, last year was $1,500. This year was $2,000. So let's just say most of the churches don't have it. Most of them $2,000.
Stop it.
But let's just say 50 churches gave him the $2,000 on the last Sunday of the convention. That means he get $100,000 straight cash. Boom. But here's my thing: I don't have no problem preaching. Get what you get. Give however the Lord bless you. If you got to hustle to get it, but take care of the church. Take care of what you're supposed to take care of, so it don't look bad. But when you get all this yourself, and then everything is falling over the campground, looking like a crack house, and got pedophiles all in the water and sewage. Come on.
That's terrible.
Whatever you got, you should have put that.
Somebody please send me a love offering.
So if y'all can send him $2,000 love offering, you can send the RN Diva and send myself a love offering.
That's right, because I love y'all.
Yeah, and she loves the Lord. She does.
And I love the Lord. I just don't go to y'all hut.
She just don't like that church mess.
I just don't sit in nobody's hut. I don't need to be on a pew in order to be worshiping.
We praying for y'all. We praying for. But anyway, be a blessing. Don't be a hater. Be a blessing. And now, what I want to do. Here, let's pray for, and hopefully we won't have to come back here and say we're praying for the children that go to the youth camp. Hopefully they're gonna cancel the thing.
Yeah,
they don't. But let's pray for those children, those girls that are at that camp. And what I'm gonna do?
Missing. Yeah.
I'm gonna play a short video, just kind of showing you what they went through, and then I'm gonna put on the screen. We're gonna say
so scary in the middle of the night.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing. That's Thank you all. See you next time. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a wonderful day, wonderful night, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you next time right here on Real Talk with RN Diva, Pastor Robert, and also COG Equity Podcast. God bless you. Have a good night, a wonderful night.
Was that good?
Oh, wonderful. Turn off. So you can turn off. I'm just letting it play. They should be. You know what I said? They should be in bed. You logged out? They should be in bed.